Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. Today on the journey, we are going to cover a few things, but let's get started with the journey part of it. Today is, just checking the calendar, March 15th. It is approximately 11:26 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we are just going to continue on with where we were, or in the middle of it, somewhere in there. We did manage to get ourselves a printer. The problem is, I can't get it hooked up. I was led to believe that modern technology is supposed to be plug and play. Rest assured, for me anyway, it hasn't worked out that way. But we did get rid of the recliner yesterday. I mentioned that I was getting rid of it because to clear up some room in the house. So there was a chap that lives in our block that wanted it, and we were just getting rid of it anyway. He was happy, but the important factor is that once it was gone, my son who lives with me mentioned that the place felt a lot better getting rid of the clutter. So the decluttering continues. Now we're putting together a list. I've got a list of different things that I do require, not the least of which is I'm going to have to get a new computer sooner or later, but definitely a new monitor that is a little easier to work with. But hey, what the heck. Anyway, back to this issue. Like, I've been walking you through what's going on with me, okay, as far as day to day goes. And the reality is that because of getting rid of the junk that I've got, by getting rid of the physical stuff that I no longer have a use for, some of the thought processes are going. One of the biggest ones is that this is going to take me a long time to adjust to. I used to tell people I've got an absolutely pathetic memory where it comes to names. And, that used to work great. I couldn't remember anybody's name. But the moment I shifted my thinking and started telling people my memory for names is getting better, it started to improve and has continued to do so. Now I'm remembering people's names that I haven't seen for months. Like, I'll see them, they'll tell me who they are, I won't see them again, and when I run into them again, I can remember who they are. Apparently, I can't speak though. It boils down to this. One of the tricks that I found works in the way of getting your life back on track is literally telling yourself that that is what is happening. Or more to the point, that is what has happened. Okay, the more I tell myself I remember things, the easier it is. Now, there are some limitations. For instance, my memory, where it comes to locations and my sense of direction, I can tell myself all I want to, all I desire to, that it's getting better. But that just leads me down the road of going, oh, I know where I'm going, and I get lost. So, I've come to the conclusion that's one of those things I'm going to have to work with. These I'm getting used to getting rid of, and eventually I will. The reality is, for the moment, until my eyes get tested to the point where the doctor says they've improved to the point you don't require them, I will continue wearing them while I'm driving. However, I am getting used to the routine of putting them down when I go to leave the office, so that all I'm doing is working with the actual eyes. Okay, I use them for reading at a bit of a distance. I've even taken to watching TV without wearing my glasses. Yes, it's still a little fuzzy, but the more I do it, the more my eyes work, the stronger they'll get and the easier it'll be to see what I'm looking at. Okay. Now, the odd part about your eyesight, because there's a lot of people out there that have poor eyesight for a lot of reasons, and quite frankly, the computer is one of the reasons. Okay, people don't utilize their eyes. You spend all your time indoors, and you don't get to exercise the longer vision. Net result, your eyes collapse. Okay, the nice part about it is this: the more you use them, like I was told, as you get older, your eyes will continue to get worse. I'm telling you, that's not necessarily the case, but I can tell you why they get worse. Okay, if you don't use them, like any muscle, they will atrophy. They will get weaker. The reason that they get worse, and I am not an ophthalmologist, I am not an eye doctor, I simply work on practical experience and observation. When you're wearing glasses, okay, your eye, let's try English. When you're wearing your eyes themselves, the light comes in, it goes through a special lens and turns itself around so you can see it. Okay, the thing is, it comes in from a very definitive point, and it comes in straight. Now, here's the thing with glasses. The second that you put glasses on, the light then comes in, it hits the glasses, it modifies the direction the light is traveling, and alters its trajectory coming into your eyes. Net result, your eyes get used to the different trajectory. Okay, so what happens over time is your eyes get very dependent on that specific trajectory. And as you get older, your eyes tend to shift. Well, they change shape anyway, but because your glasses don't change, like your glasses do not change on the moment like your eyes do. So when you're wearing glasses, much as your eye is shifting, the glasses aren't, which means the light is going into the eye at a different angle, making it harder for you to see. The moment you take your glasses off, the light tries coming back through comes back through the through the iris properly, but now it's so badly offset from the rest of the eye that you can't see much of anything. Net result, when you go in for the eye test, they tell you your eyes are collapsing. Okay, now don't just take my word for it. Okay, I'm not suggesting you just take my word for it and take your glasses and throw them away. This would be rather short-sighted. Pardon the pun. Every pun intended. Okay. But what happens is the moment you start relying on your glasses, your eyes will continue to deteriorate because they are being programmed to do so. Now, when I stopped wearing my glasses all the time, my eyes started to get stronger. Now, I used to be minus 6 in one eye and minus 5 3/4 in the other, which I don't know the exact methodology of it. All I was told was had both eyes hit minus 6, I would have been classified legally blind. Okay, so here's the thing with eyesight. Now, if you're legally blind, if the optic nerve is completely hooped, or if you don't have enough rods or cones in your eyes to see color properly, there's only a limited amount that can be done about it. But if your eyes are all physically there and just not working right, I will tell you, I've taken mine from that bad to 20/20 eyesight for reading. Okay, and I did it by simply using my eyes. It works much like your ears. Okay, except they don't see anything. If you don't wear headsets, like I'm wearing this because I want the mic to carry, and I had a lot of complaints that technology was not picking up my voice well. Okay, so when you're wearing these, especially if you're wearing them day to day, like all the time when you've got a headset on, you got music blaring in your ears. First of all, without the earpiece, the noise goes in, but it's got all kinds of places to go to diffuse it a little. When you plug it with a set of earplugs like this, or ear cups like this, or worse, with earplugs, as in the Bluetooth type speaker plugs, the volume has nowhere to go. Net result, that constant impact on the ear will wear the ear out. It's kind of like when you're driving. If you're constantly jumping on the brake while you're driving, you wear the brakes out. Same problems. By the way, I would recommend using your brakes while you're driving. It's a good idea. Okay, but getting back to the eyes, by using them, I'm actually getting to see further and further away, which ideally I'd like to get back to, and I will, if everything goes well, I will get back to 20/20 eyesight at full size without the glasses. This is not a short journey. I started wearing glasses when I was like 12, 13, just going into grade 8. Mind you, I started wearing them because I took a trailer hitch to my eye. But the more you use your glasses in non-dangerous environments, if you're having trouble seeing, put your glasses on before going and working in the kitchen, okay, or before driving, or before working on anything that is potentially dangerous. Okay, where it comes to reading without your glasses, if you can see at all, is actually beneficial. I know this from a personal standpoint, and like I said, don't just take my word for it. Take your word for it. Give it a shot in non-threatening and non-dangerous situations. Okay, for instance, if you're sitting down to dinner, if your eyes work well enough you can see the food, then eat without your glasses. It seems like a real minor thing, but I'm living proof that by doing that, your eyesight can improve. Okay, now it's up to you. If you're happy with your eyesight the way they are, that it is, knock yourself out. Personally, I just find the glasses annoying, but I always have. I will tell you, the biggest complication I have with glasses now, because of the fact that that I have such a terrible memory where it comes to certain things, spatial recognition being one of them, I'll put my glasses down and probably forget where I put them. It used to be if I took them off my nose, if I took them out from in front of my eyes and I held them that close, I could not physically see them. Now I can put them over there, I can see them clear as a bell. Right, but I still forget where I put them, so I have a tendency of losing track of them anyway. Thankfully, my coffee cup is not in the same capacity. Mind you, you get a set of coffee cup like this, and you're actually in good shape, in my eyes. But the more you can see without the requirement of technology, and realistically, this is still technology. I agree. From a mechanical standpoint, it's pretty primitive. 2 hinges and that's it. But it is still technology. They are extremely valuable if you're having eyesight problems. Okay. From my standpoint, I'll get to the other senses later, but suffice it to say, the more you use your eyes, the stronger they will get and the easier you'll find it to do things. Now, I'm looking at and this is just an idea. I'm looking at the video that you're looking at. I can see behind me, because of the way the camera is set up, I can see the blue bins behind me. I used to look at that, and only just recently, within the last month or so, I used to look at that, and all I would see is a blue mass. Okay, and that's it. Now you can see, hopefully you can see the different drawers. There's 5 drawers across and 4 drawers down on the one shelf. I can actually see that now, as well as the white label that is on them. Now, of course, to my eyes right now, that looks like a white blotch. But hey, it's better than I've had. Okay, I'm just looking at this, and it's even to the point, my business license, which is over here, probably pointing a little off, but that's the business license hanging on the wall. I can actually see that. White on white with a little bit of black writing. Okay, it's absolutely amazing. And I will tell you, having grown up essentially colorblind, when you get your eyes back to the point that you can see color, and that's an oddity in itself, but there is nothing like the natural color of things as compared to the mock-ups. Okay, and I will tell you, again, this whole eyesight thing applies to even the visually impaired. Now, we have to be realistic where it comes to the visually impaired. Okay, now, honestly, I'm wearing glasses. That makes me visually impaired. Quite literally in this case. But you have to know what the configuration of your eye is. Is the optic nerve actually still functioning? Is it still getting signals and just not recording them? Not reporting them to the brain. Is the eye itself still functionally capable of working? Not are you getting the message right now, but is it physically capable of doing it? If the answer is yes, okay, whether you're born blind or not, if the answer is yes, the eye should theoretically work, then it is quite possible, not probable, but quite possible, to actually put the eye back together and get your eyesight back via natural means. Now, the doctors that have developed laser technology and have been able to repair, I don't know if it's thousands or hundreds of thousands of people's eyes, more power to them. Well done. This comes back around to the issue of those people that have the ability, that have the strength to help. We really have to encourage people to help each other. Okay. See, now I had to put my glasses on so I didn't have to lean right up in your face again to see what time I had on the clock. I can see the clock, I just can't see it. I just can't read it. Anyway, we get the eyesight up and running. You're seeing the organizational side of the office starting to straighten out. The eyes are the next big thing that I'm working on. Now, the reality of it is, it doesn't cause me any problem if I heal my eyes, or more to the point, when. Okay, I don't lose anything except the annoyance of having to wear glasses. Now, I've been wearing glasses for 45 years now. It's not like they're new. It's not like it's a new problem of mine. Okay, so I am in the process of healing those. It was funny, when I had my stroke 2 years ago, my eye doctor, he looks at me and he goes, "What are you doing? You've just had a stroke and you're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and yet your eyes are getting stronger. What are you doing?" Well, what I'm doing is simple. I just explained what I'm doing. If you back it up a couple of minutes, you can re-listen to that. But it boils down to this. I decided that using my eyes, in spite of the fact that they're a little on the weak side, by using them they will get stronger. It's like any muscle. Okay, now I've gotten quite used to, I hate that word. I have become used to the idea of having a bad leg. Right. But then again, in all fairness, more than 3/4 of my life has been spent on a cane. Okay, where I've had the cane handy, and I've always known about the damage to the leg. But it's only been in the last couple of years I finally got to the point of, okay, if I'm feeling a little off, I'm going to quit being that stubborn, and I'm going to start using the cane. Now, I have noticed something rather remarkable there. If I'm walking down the street and I'm trying to cross a crosswalk or cross a street, on a corner, if I'm having trouble walking without the cane, everybody gets impatient. The moment I put the cane in my hand, everybody goes, "Oh, there's a problem," and they seem to develop a little more patience right off the bat. Okay, so the message to you at this point is this. When you're seeing somebody walking along, if they're walking on a proper crosswalk, okay, settle back, wait for them to get across the crosswalk. They are likely trying to get across as quick as they can. Because rest assured, I'm not one to dawdle around in the middle of the road. And most people don't like the idea of getting hit. Okay, especially not with a car. So, again, karmic law says, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. So, if you're seeing somebody, especially when you're looking at the seniors, and they're walking a little slower, give them the time. Okay, because one day, like it or not, you yourself are going to be a senior. Okay, unless, of course, you end up dead before that, and let's pray that doesn't happen. Okay. The eyes are rather, now they call the eyes the window of the soul. They are, but the thing I've found is that a lot of people with eyesight seem to see an awful lot less than the people that don't have eyesight. It's kind of like the people that are deaf. They seem to notice things that people that have full hearing don't notice. Now, I'm one of the lucky few. I had an ear infection a number of years ago. Actually, in all fairness, I think it was last year. And my hearing was so bad, I had to have the TV turned up to 100 in order to hear it in the same room. My hearing, once I got the infection dealt with, improved so well that I can now listen to it at 6 or 7 when I'm in another room. Okay, and again, this boils down to this. I took a look at my senses and went, well, if I'm using them, they will get stronger. It's like your muscles. If you're not able to do a push-up, okay, if you just physically don't have the strength of it, work at it, and you will get to the point that you're able to do push-ups. You're able to do, whatever. It's working the muscle. Okay, oddly enough, in a lot of ways, procrastination is like a muscle as well. Only the problem there is, if you get used to the idea of doing nothing, of putting things off, that drive to just sit there, or lack of drive to just sit there and let things happen, gets to be really, really strong. Okay, so it is advisable. From my standpoint, I did find that procrastination did not accomplish much of anything, other than a backlog of work. So, when we're talking about getting your life back, now, I've mentioned you've got to have an idea of what you see as success. For me, it's pretty clear. I am curious. Again, I didn't think to mention this again. I hope you give us a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to our channel. Okay, because there's a lot of information coming out over the next while. Okay, and I've got a staggering amount of it in the past. It just hasn't been as consistent as what it's gotten this time. Today's the 15th. Our first video that we started and said we were doing this daily came out on the 6th of this month, which is an amazing 9 days running. And 9 days may not seem that much, but I will tell you, from my standpoint, it's a big issue. I would love to hear in the comments below what you see as personal success. Is it a major business? Is it simply getting rid of the junk in your house? Or is it a case of, I just desire the problem people to leave me alone? Okay, I don't want to have to deal with that anymore, or I don't desire to deal with that anymore. You'll notice that I have a tendency of catching myself with certain words. If you look in the archives, if you look in the back videos I've done, there is a series that has part of it done called language. And what I do with that is I've picked some words that in the spoken language, or for that, bear in mind, spoken also means sign. Okay, in the spoken language, whatever language it is, these words are very deprivating. They will hold you back. Okay, and the reality of it is, it may not seem like it, but listen to the rationality, listen to the videos to get an idea of how they work, of why spoken language is such an imperative issue. Okay, now needless to say, I would love to get my diction working properly. You may not have a problem with it. I notice complications. That's just me, I'm fussy. But I'm going to put it to you this way, okay? For those of you that have strengths, that have a surplus, whether it's a surplus of time or you simply have a little bit of knowledge, that is beyond what other people have, I strongly encourage you to help the people that don't have it to get their feet on the ground, because quite frankly, together, this world will get better. We will get through all the conflicts. Ideally, I would love to see countries getting along where the only argument is, what's the price we're paying for this? Not who shot who to get that price to where it is. Okay. I have come to the understanding that all people, every walk of life, and when I'm talking every walk of life, I am referring to even plants and animals. Yes, my world is a lot different than most, but we can all get along. There is no question there at all. Okay, it's just a question of deciding, do you desire to get along or not? So, we are going to tie this off again. And like I said, I would love to hear from you what you see as success. Today, I've got another video I'm about to go and do on business. Okay, and then I get to start writing. Now, I mentioned I've chosen another book to start writing. Haven't finished the other ones, but what the heck. Okay, I sent the paperwork in to Author House now to get those books dealt with. But I am going to be writing one that I am simply calling the 4 P's of success, which is purpose, plan, patience, and persistence. Actually, it's purpose, plan, persistence, and patience. Has to go in that order or it doesn't add up properly. But I'll be starting working on that today, as well as the other books I'm already working on. So I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Okay, and until then, I'm going to let you have it and let you go for the day. I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Okay, until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.